Hello and welcome to the second episode of our first mini series here on Educational. We are going to welcome Charisma back. And last week we talked about, uh, we talked about the caregiver happiness, what makes you happy, talking about relationships and reaching out. And then also, who are you? Sometimes with any job, but I think especially caregiving takes such an emotional toll on us. Sometimes we can forget who we are as a person. So you gave us some great homework exercises to get out there and reach out, make some contacts, but also to really put pen to paper and write down who that we are. So thanks for that great advice. And we're going to talk about goals this week. So how can caregivers set some goals for themselves?
Yes. So thank you for having me back. I'm Charisma.
Okay.
So yes, we're going to talk about some goals and some dreams that we may have tucked away. So this week we'll need to have a pen and paper or something we can jot some information down on.
Okay.
So while you grab that, last week I did challenge you to define the roles that you play and some things that bring value to your life. So I don't know if they're able to, message you on Instagram or Facebook. So, maybe we can get some interaction, but it'd be nice to see
Yes.
some of the
Yeah.
things that people may have come up with.
Yeah, they can reach
Um,
out to us on Instagram, or of course, you're at Charisma's Care, and all this will be in our show notes. But you are very active on Instagram, so send one of us a note over there. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today, I want to start off by having you rate your happiness, and just be honest with yourself because it's just you there to see it.
Yeah.
So what I do when I have clients, we go through several different areas to rate where they are as far as their happiness. So today, I just want to pull out a couple of them. The first one I want you to look at is your relationships, and I want you to rate this on a scale from 1 to 10. So with your relationships, where are you? One would be the least, not happy at all with your relationships and how they are right now. And 10 would be the very most. I'm great with my relationships. They're, pretty strong, and that could be friendships, family, any of those different things. So that's the first one, your relationships. Next, I want you to rate your health and wellness. So, one, my health is terrible. I'm just going to be honest with myself. 10, my health is perfect. I personally had an 80-year-old that was still running the marathon that they do in Canada. So I would say that he was probably a 10.
Yeah. Right.
Aw, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes, he ran it every single year, and he was 80, and I came to do his visit, and he was still running that marathon. So, and
Wow.
then the last one, yes, yes. And the last one I want to pull out is your attitude about life. How do you rate that on a scale from 1 to 10? Where are you in your life? And just how happy are you in this place right now? Because as caregivers, our mood just kind of changes. So sometimes, we're doing really good. And then, sometimes we're not doing as well.
Yeah.
So I want you to rate those and, just look over that and take a deep breath and say, oh, wow, this is where I am. So, are you happy? Are you happy in your life right now? Are you happy with your relationships? And if not, how can we make it better? How do you get to the point that you aren't pursuing happiness, but you're on a happiness pursuit? You're making it your own. You're just, whatever you're doing every day, you're happy with it.
Yeah.
So the first thing we want to realize is that happiness really isn't based on a lot of outside influences. A lot of times, and we talked about it last time, we think that money, fame, all of those things are going to make us happy, but they
Right.
really don't.
No.
um, what we actually find is that happiness is based on your mind. There are actually four brain chemicals that are responsible for your happiness: dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, I'm sorry, and endorphins. So those are the things that have to do with your happiness. And, at no point did I mention anything outside outside of us. No,
Yeah,
those
Mercedes
are
and
the things.
BMW didn't make that list.
I didn't make that.
Yes,
No,
they did not
never
make the list. The people with the Toyotas and Hondas may be much happier. So,
Right.
and the thing is, each of these hormones work a little different. The dopamine actually works with your goals and your dreams. So when you're pursuing your goals and dreams, your dopamine is increasing. Your oxytocin, that's called the hug hormone. That hormone comes out a lot in women after they deliver a baby. And that's why after you deliver the baby, they now, back in the day, they didn't do it, but now they encourage skin to skin contact. So after, even with all the stuff on the baby, some moms will say, no, give me the baby right away, because it induces oxytocin. So, so we call it the hug hormone, because as soon as you hug, that chemical is released in your brain.
Interesting. Okay.
This serotonin is increased by social good. So when you do different things, when you write a thank you note, when you do when people were doing the pay it forward, those things were increasing their serotonin. And then endorphins, that's that sense of euphoria. That's that runner's high after you finish a workout. And, when you going in there, you're like, oh my gosh, I do not want to do this workout. But once you were done, you were ready to go. We're starting the day. That is the endorphins. And actually, it is 3 times as powerful as morphine without the high.
Wow. Okay.
So going out for that morning walk, it increases and stimulates the endorphins. So, what we can say is, overall, to stimulate these things, you strive towards a goal. You show a little kindness and you do a little exercise. Those 3 things can make you happier.
Yeah, and I think it's important to know that, it's hard to find happiness in others or in things. And that I think this is such an awesome point that could be made, not only to caregivers, but to everybody, is these 4 things that we can do. They will provide us really all the happiness. And guess what? We're going to be making people around us happy too.
Right. So
contagious.
Yes, it is. When they started doing the pay it forward, everybody started doing pay it forward.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it wasn't unknown to go to McDonald's and they say, oh, your meal is already paid for, or go to Starbucks. Oh, they already took care of your coffee.
I love doing that.
Yeah. And see, you love doing it because it's increasing.
Drive-through. Yes.
Yeah, and it makes you so happy.
I don't want to see them though after. Yeah, I don't want to see them after though. I mean, I'm just like, yeah.
You're like, only in the drive-through, not if I go inside.
Only in the drive-through. I don't want to see after. No.
Yes. So,
it's fun.
These things, the simple acts of kindness, the gratitude, the generosity, combining all of those increases these hormones, increases these chemicals. So the other thing that it does is, when we're increasing these chemicals in the brain, we're now decreasing and slowing down the aging process. We're decreasing the cortisol in your body, which I had mentioned last episode, that cortisol, when we're holding on to that in our body, it holds on to the fat. It's the opposite of fight or flight. We're just holding everything into that midsection that women don't like to hold on to. That's why when your stress goes up, your weight tends to go up and hold on to all of that stuff you want to get rid of, because that cortisol level is high. But when we're decreasing the cortisol, we're working on decreasing our stress, because we're increasing our happiness. So it all works together. So some things that I want you to work on this week is a simple act of kindness. Whether that's pay it forward, whether that's, now we wear masks, but if we're not wearing masks, we could smile at a stranger. When people smile at strangers, even with the mask, my teenage daughter told me, people can see you smiling, Mom. They can see your eyes.
I was going to say.
And I thought about it, and I said, yeah. I said, well, Nadia, smile. That's my daughter. And she smiled. I said, I can see it in your eyes. I never noticed that. You know, so just smiling at a stranger, or, you know, buying a ice cream cone for a child, or like we mentioned last week, sending that message via Facebook to say, hey, how are you? Hope you have a good day. So that's just a simple act of kindness. An attitude of gratitude, giving out that gratitude and that generosity. So this isn't just for your family or friend, just anyone that passes us by. Just being thankful, saying, oh, thank you for that. Oh, someone held open the door. Thank you. You know, when anytime, you know, anything that's small or doing something for someone else, all of those things not only increases their happiness and makes them feel better, but it increases your happiness as well. You know, I have a special needs child. He has to wear glasses. Getting glasses on a special needs child at 9 is a much harder task than you would think it would be. So when he wears his glasses, I say, oh, thank you for wearing your glasses today. You look so nice. And he just starts smiling.
Oh,
You know, it's so easy. But when you think about even an adult, when you, oh, thank you, Dad, for putting on your shirt so nicely. Oh gosh, you look so handsome in that shirt today. You know, it
encourage
may make his
them.
day.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's awesome.
So yeah, just those different things. So do that simple act of kindness, at least one. You show some generosity, just saying thank you or spreading some happiness. And the last thing is a gratitude journal. So this has been thrown around a little bit, you know, especially this last year with everything we've had going on. But a gratitude journal is pretty amazing. And so what you do is every day you write 1 to 3 things in this journal, and just 3 things that made you happy that day. 3 things that you're thankful for. You know, you can start off small, but try to dig deep, you know, really think about those things. So write 1 to 3 things down every day for the next week until we meet. And then from there, we're going to go back and we're going to look at that, because what we found is that when you have these things written down and then you have a bad day, a bad week, a bad month, and you go back and read these things, you're increasing those chemicals again.
Right.
So you're happier.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So
when we're having that spell, you know, when we have that spell of depression or anger or whatever's coming over us, it's, you know, we have to look around. And I think that's a good point to make, is we can look back through this journal to see all the things that we really have to be happy for. Maybe they may be something dragging us down right this minute, but the chances are it's not going to last, that there's the
Yeah.
things that make us happy, they're going to be there for a while.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, because sometimes, you know, I think I posted something the other day. The place that you are today was the place that you didn't imagine you would get to 5 years ago.
Right.
You know, it was the place that you wanted to be at. You know,
Exactly.
you may have achieved something that you didn't think you would be able to achieve. But when you actually look back and think about it, you say, oh, yeah, I really did. I really did want that. You
Yeah.
know, my daughter's a senior. I pulled out my old high school yearbook and looked at some things, and it said, I'm going to be a nurse practitioner and I'm going to have a house and a
Oh,
dog and, you know, all
Yeah.
these different things. And I said, oh, I did accomplish that. Look at me.
aw.
But
Ah,
it was
cool.
really funny because I hadn't looked in this thing in such and such amount of years.
Yep.
But yeah, so the last thing that I wanted to talk about, that I want us to do, is to take 30 seconds right now just to write down some goals, whatever these goals may be. Anything that you may dream of at night. Maybe you want to hike a mountain. Maybe you're, you know, a younger caregiver and you still want to have a family. Maybe you want to go to the city that never sleeps. You want to go to Vegas. You know, once you get there, you don't have to tell anybody about it. You just want to go to Vegas. You know, maybe it's learning a new language. Maybe that's something you want to do. Or a weekend girls or guys trip. You know, I really want you to think about those things, some dreams that you have. And then next week, we're going to see what we're going to do with that next.
All right. That's good advice, Charisma.
Oh, yes.
I've already got my list. Already got my list going. All right. Well, thanks so much. So next week we're going to talk about visualization, and we'll visualize these things that we've written down. So that's awesome. Tell everybody how they can reach out and get a hold of you in the meantime.
Okay, so I'm on social media platforms, Charisma's Care. That's Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And then my website is charismascare.com.
Okay,
I try
awesome.
to keep it
Y'all
really
reach out to
simple.
Charisma. She is the caregiving coach, and she can help you through this journey so we can all make it through with our sanity intact. And she's going to show us how we can also be happy in the process. So we appreciate that. That's going to do it for another episode. That's going to do it for episode number 2 of our first mini series on caregiver happiness. We're really excited. And again, Charisma, we can't tell you how thankful we are for you coming on and doing this mini series for us. It's been great. So
Thank
until
you so
next
much for
time, I'm
having
Roy.
me.
You bet. And Terry, I'll let her.
Sorry,
Yeah,
this is Terry. I'm just listening.
Yeah.
I'm all happy. I'm just watching your smile. You have a great smile.
All right.
Thank
You can
you.
find us at www.educational.com. We're on all the major social media platforms as well as iTunes, Stitcher, Google, Spotify. If we're not on one that you listen to, please reach out. We'd be glad to add it. So until next time, take care of yourself and take care of your loved ones.